Good morning, students. I hope all are learning our portions. Today we are going to see a new topic, lesson 23, economic biology. Okay, in that the first part is botany, the second part is zoology. Clear? First part botany, second part zoology. Okay, from zoology we can see dairy farming. Zoology, the first part is dairy farming. Okay, so dairy farming involves raising of cattle for milk production. Dairy farming involves raising of cattle for milk production. It involves the proper maintenance of cattle along with collection and processing of milk and milk products which are useful to man. Clear? Cattle breeds. In Indian, cattle include cows and buffaloes. Indian cattle, what are they? Cows and buffaloes. They are domesticated for milk, meat, leather and transportation. They are domesticated for milk, meat, leather and transportation. Okay. They belong to two species. One is Bos indicus, that is Indian cows and bulls. Bos indicus, that is Indian cows and bulls. Another one is Bos bovalis. Bos bovalis, buffaloes, that is buffaloes. Okay. These cattle animals are reared for milk and farm labor. Okay. What is the use of these cattle? These cattle are used for milk and farm labor. Okay. The cattle breeds are classified into three types. How many types? Three types. What are they? They are dairy breeds, draught breeds and dual purpose breeds. Dairy breeds, draught breeds and dual purpose breeds. The first one is dairy breeds. Dairy animals are domesticated for obtaining milk. Dairy animals are domesticated for obtaining milk. They are giving high milk. So they are called as milch animals. They are called as milch animals. There are two types, indigenous breeds and exotic breeds. The dairy breeds are two types, indigenous breeds and exotic breeds. First one, indigenous breeds. They are native of India. Indigenous breeds are native of India. Example, Sahiwal, Red Sindhi. Sahiwal, Red Sindhi. These cattle are well built with strong limbs. These cattle are well built with strong limbs. Prominent comb and loose skin. Prominent comb and loose skin. Next, exotic breeds. They are imported from foreign countries. So their native is foreign countries. Clear? Example, Jersey brown Swiss. Jersey brown Swiss. The second type, draught or draft breeds. Draught, otherwise known as draft breeds. They are used for agricultural work such as tilling, irrigation and carting. Such as tilling, irrigation and carting. Example, Amblacheri, Kankeyam, Malvi. Amblacheri, Kankeyam, Malvi. The third type, dual purpose breeds. Dual purpose breeds. The cows are, these breeds provide milk and the bulls are useful for farm work. So milk as well as farm work. Example, Haryana Ongol Hangrage. Haryana Ongol Hangrage. Okay. So what are the types of cattle breeds? There are three types of cattle breeds. What are they? Dairy breeds, draught breeds and dual purpose breeds. Okay, dairy breeds, draught breeds and dual purpose breeds. What do you mean dairy breeds? Dairy animals are domesticated for obtaining milk. Dairy animals are domesticated for obtaining milk. Example, Sahiwal, Red Sindhi. Okay. So the dairy breeds are two types. What are they? Indigenous breeds, exotic breeds. Indigenous breeds, exotic breeds. So indigenous breeds means the native of India. They are from India. Okay. Exotic breeds means the imported from foreign countries. They are imported from foreign countries. Okay. Drought breeds. What do you mean drought breeds? They are used for agricultural work such as tilling, irrigation and carting. Tilling, irrigation and carting. Okay. Dual purpose breeds. Dual purpose breeds, they are used for two functions. Dual means two. Okay. One is giving milk, another one is useful for farm work. Clear? So dual purpose breeds means used for two purposes. One is providing milk, another one is useful for farm work. Clear? Next one is composition of cattle feed. The feed for dairy cattle is broadly classified into two: roughages and concentrates. Roughages and concentrate. The first one is roughage. Roughage is a coarse and fibrous fodder. It consists of succulent feed and dry fodder. Okay. Succulent feed means cultivated grass, fodder and root crops. Dry fodder, that means hay, straw and chop. Clear? So second one, concentrates. They are low in fiber and contain high level of carbohydrates. Low in fiber and contain high level of carbohydrates, protein and other nutrients. There are variety of raw materials such as cholam, kambu, rice bran, wheat bran, cotton seed cake, mustard cake, linseed cake. Clear? So these are all the things we have to add in concentrate level. Okay. So next we can see feed management. So how to feed the cattle. Okay, feed management. Dairy cattle need balanced ratio containing all nutrients. Dairy cattle need balanced food. Okay, it should be all nutrients which contain minerals, vitamins, antibiotics and hormones to promote the growth of animals. The daily average feed ratio of a milking cow is the daily average feed ratio of a milking cow is 15 to 25 kilogram of roughage. That means dry grass and green fodder. Next, 4 to 5 kilogram of grain mixer. Third, 100 to 150 liters of water. These are the things we have to give to cattle. Then we can get it more milk as well as food. Okay, that is meat. So 15 to 25 kilogram of roughage we have to give. Roughage means dry grass and green fodder. Next, 4 to 5 kilogram of grain mixer. Okay, you have to add it the grains such as cholam, rice bran, wheat bran, kambu, mustard cake, that everything we have to mix it. Third thing, we have to give water, that is 100 to 150 liters of water. If you are giving these other concentrate as well as food items, we can increase the milk product as well as that meat products. Okay. Improvement of livestock development in India. How to improve livestock development in India? In two programs conducting our government. The first one is Intensive Cattle Development Program. Intensive Cattle Development Program. Here, it is based on cross-breeding of indigenous cows with exotic breeds. Okay, cross-breeding of indigenous cows with exotic breeds. That means my Indian cows to cross-breeding with foreign cows. Okay, to increase milk production. To increase milk production. Second one, Operation Flood Program. Operation Flood Program. It is based on dairy requirements. Okay, it is based on dairy requirements to increase milk supply in urban areas. To increase milk supply in urban areas. Clear it, children? So now we have seen dairy farming in that cattle breeds. What are the types of cattle breeds? So composition of cattle feed. What are the things we have to give? Then how many, what is the measurement we have to follow? Okay. Last, how to improve livestock in management. Clear, children? So read it, understand and learn. Okay. I hope everyone understood. Next one, let us learn about aquaculture. Okay, aquaculture. What is aquaculture? Aquaculture is the rearing of economically important aquatic organisms like fishes, prawns, shrimps, crabs, lobsters, edible oils, pearl oysters and seaweeds under controlled and confined environmental conditions using advanced technologies. Okay, so it is the rearing of economically important aquatic organisms. What is aquaculture? Rearing of economically important, that means getting money. Okay, aquatic organisms like fishes, prawns, shrimps, crabs, lobsters, edible oysters as well as pearl oysters. Okay, types of aquaculture. There are two types of aquaculture. One is freshwater aquaculture and second one is marine water aquaculture. Freshwater aquaculture and marine water aquaculture. First one, freshwater aquaculture. Rearing of aquatic organisms in freshwater is called freshwater aquaculture. What is freshwater aquaculture? Rearing of aquatic organisms in freshwater is called freshwater aquaculture. Culture of organisms is carried out in pond, river, dam, lake and cold water. Okay. So, sources pond, river, dam, lake and cold water. Clear it? The fishes, tilapia, carps, catfishes and air breathing fishes are cultured in freshwater. What are the fishes are cultured in freshwater? Tilapia, carps, catfishes and air breathing fishes. Okay. Then marine water. Cultivation of aquatic organisms in sea water, that is called marine water aquaculture. What is marine water aquaculture? Cultivation of aquatic organisms in sea water. This is also referred as mariculture or sea farming. It is also referred as mariculture or sea farming. Clear it? So, examples: shrimps, pearl oysters, edible oysters, mussels. Shrimps, pearl oysters, edible oysters, mussels. Okay. Then, prospects of aquaculture. What are the benefits? Benefits of aquaculture. Aquaculture has become the fastest growing food producing sector to meet the demands of food and nutrition to the growing population through increased production from aquatic food sources. It aims at blue revolution. Okay, so aquaculture indicate blue revolution. It is a major source of export and foreign exchange earnings for the country. What is a major source? Export and foreign exchange earnings for the country. It generates employment through fish farming in rural and underdeveloped area. So it generates employment, job opportunities, okay, rural as well as underdeveloped area. Have you got it? What are the types of aquaculture? Two types. What are they? Freshwater aquaculture, marine water aquaculture. What do you mean freshwater aquaculture? The rearing of aquatic organisms in freshwater is called freshwater aquaculture. The rearing of aquatic organisms in freshwater is called freshwater aquaculture. Example: tilapia, carps, catfishes and air breathing fishes. What do you mean freshwater? Pond, river, dam, lake and cold water. Okay, pond, river, dam, lake and cold water. What is marine water aquaculture? The cultivation of aquatic organisms in seawater. The cultivation of aquatic organisms in seawater. That is called as marine water aquaculture. What is the other name of marine water aquaculture? Mariculture or sea farming. Mariculture or sea farming. Have you got it, everyone? I hope everyone understood. Students, let us learn about fishiculture. Okay, the third one is fishiculture. First one, dairy farming regarding cattle. Okay, second one, aquaculture regarding aquatic organisms. Third one, fishiculture. That is breeding and rearing of fishes in ponds, lakes, rivers and paddy fields. What is fishiculture? Rearing and breeding of fishes in ponds, lakes, rivers and paddy fields. Clear? Then types of fish culture. There are some types of fish culture. The first one is extensive fish culture. Culture of fishes in large areas with low stocking density. Culture of fishes in large areas with low stocking density and natural feeding. Okay. Second one, intensive fish culture. Here, culture of fishes in small areas with high stocking density. Culture of fishes in small areas with high stocking density and providing artificial feed. So, extensive fish culture means large areas with low stocking density and natural feeding. Clear? Intensive fish culture means culture of fishes in small area, high stocking density and providing artificial feed. Next one, monoculture. It is the culture of single type of fish in a water body. Mono means one. So, here the culture of single type of fish in a water body. It is also called monospecies culture. Okay. Next, polyculture. Poly means what? Many. Okay. So, here culture of more than one type of fish in a water body. Okay. Culture of more than one type of fish in a water body. Okay. It is also called composite fish culture. What is the otherwise known as? Composite fish culture. The last one, integrated fish farming. Integrated fish farming is the culture of fishes along with agricultural crops or animal husbandry farming. Okay. Rearing of fish along with paddy, poultry, cattle, pig and ducks. What are the things they are rearing along with fish? Paddy, poultry, cattle, pig and ducks. Clear, children? So, integrated means culture of fishes along with agriculture crops or animal husbandry farming. Okay. So, there paddy, poultry, cattle, pig and duck along with what? Fish. Clear? So, what are the types of fish culture? Extensive fish culture, intensive fish culture, monoculture, polyculture and last integrated fish farming. Have you got it? Okay. Next one, types of ponds for fish culture. Types of ponds for fish culture. Fish farm requires different types of pond for the various developmental stages of fish growth. Fish farm requires different types of pond for the various developmental stages of fish growth. The first one is breeding pond. Healthy and sexually mature male and female fishes are collected and introduced in this pond for breeding. Healthy and sexually mature male and female fishes are collected introduced in this pond for breeding. The eggs are released by female or fertilized by the sperm, and fertilized eggs float in water as prodemas. The fertilized eggs float in water. Okay, so here what we have to do? We have to collect healthy and sexually mature male and female fishes and introduced in this pond for breeding. Okay, eggs are released by female and fertilized by male, that is sperm, and the fertilized eggs float in water. Second one, catching pits. The fertilized eggs are transferred to catching pits. Fertilized eggs are transferred to catching pits. For what? For catching. Okay, for catching. The third one is nursery ponds. Third one is nursery ponds. The catchlings are transferred from catching pits after 2 to 7 days. So after 2 to 7 days, we have to shift the catchlings. Okay. The catchlings grow into fry and are cultured in these ponds for about 60 days with proper feeding till they reach 2 to 2.5 centimeter length. Till it reach 2 to 2.5 centimeter in length, it has to grow in nursery ponds. Clear? After that, we have to shift to rearing ponds. So next one is rearing ponds. The rearing ponds are used to culture the fry. Rearing ponds are used to culture the fry. The fish fry are transferred from nursery pond to rearing ponds and maintained for 3 months, about 3 months, till they reach 10 to 15 centimeter in length. Okay, till they reach 10 to 15 centimeter length, we have to maintain in rearing ponds. In these rearing ponds, the fry develops into fingerlings. So here fry develops into fingerlings. Next one and the last one is stocking pond. The stocking pond is also called as culture pond or production pond. Stocking pond is also called as culture pond or production pond. These ponds are used to rear fingerlings up to the marketable size. Okay, these ponds are used to rear fingerlings up to the marketable size. So what are the types of ponds? Breeding pond, catching pits, then nursery ponds, rearing ponds, stocking ponds. Clear? So the first one, breeding pond. What they have to do? They are collecting the healthy and sexually mature male and female fishes and introduced in the pond for breeding. After the eggs are released by female and fertilized by male. Okay. After that shift to Uchu pond, catch pond. Okay. Catching pits for catching. Then from there it shifted to nursery ponds. There it has to grow 2 to 7 days. Then till 60 days it has to grow and attain the reach of 2 to 2.5 centimeter in length. After that we have to shift to rearing ponds. Okay. The fry develops into fingerlings. Here the rearing ponds, the fry develops into fingerlings. Finally we have to shift to stocking ponds. There when they attain the marketable size, we have to remove it. We have to sell it. Okay. Have you got it? Yes? Okay. Next one is cultivable food fishes. Cultivable food fishes. Freshwater cultivable fishes and marine water cultivable fishes. Freshwater cultivable fishes and marine water cultivable fishes. First one, freshwater cultivable fishes. They are Indian major carps, catla, rogu, merigal, murrels and catfishes. They are cultured in freshwater. Second one, marine water cultivable fishes. That means sea bass, grey mullet, chanas are the fishes cultured in marine water. So freshwater means the fishes are cultured in freshwater. Marine water means the fishes are cultured in marine water. Clear? The last one, nutritional value of fishes. Nutritional value of fishes. Children, we all know fish are very important. It is good for our health. Okay. Cultivable freshwater and marine food fishes are highly nutritious, rich source of animal proteins and are easily digestible. Okay, they are easily digestible. They are rich in essential amino acids such as lysine and methionine, polyunsaturated fatty acid, minerals, calcium, phosphorus, iron, sodium, potassium and magnesium. What are the minerals are present? Calcium, phosphorus, iron, sodium, potassium and magnesium. And fat soluble vitamins, water soluble vitamins also present. Fat soluble vitamins as well as water soluble vitamins also present. So what are the nutritional value? It contains essential amino acids, lysine, methionine, polyunsaturated fatty acids. And next one, minerals, calcium, phosphorus, iron, sodium, potassium and magnesium. The third one, fat soluble vitamins and water soluble vitamins are present. Okay. So here more questions are there on 7-mark question. So children, you read it carefully and learn it. Okay. So now we can mark the question. Take your book. Turn page number 288, page number 288, Roman letter 7, question number 4, Roman letter 7, question number 4. Give an account of different types of fish ponds used for rearing fishes. Give an account of different types of fish ponds used for rearing fishes. Answer, page number 281, page number 281. See types of ponds, types of ponds. First one, it starts from breeding pond. It starts from breeding pond. Till next page, page number 282. Stocking pond, till stocking pond. Clear it? Yes? Okay, that's all. So learn it properly.